to respond. I'm joined now by Independent Senator Nick Xenophon. He's in our Adelaide studio. Senator, thanks for your time. Father Riley there said just 0.5% of the funding for his charity comes from Clubs Australia. Is that enough to justify the claim from you earlier today that he has sold out, in fact been the mother of all sellouts?
Well, it is a sellout in terms of principles, because the great irony here is that Chris Riley helps the poor and the disadvantaged. He does a great job doing that. But he is now spruiking for an industry that actually causes poverty, that actually causes hardship, because we know that gambling-related issues from poker machines is a significant cause in this country of causing a significant dislocation, crime, family breakdown, poverty, people losing their houses, people trying to kill themselves, and most sadly and tragically of all, people actually taking their lives. And the difference between heroin addiction that Father Riley refers to, and poker machine addiction is that heroin is illegal. We try and stem the damage caused by heroin. But gambling addiction on poker machines is something that has come about through the stroke of a pen of legislation that has allowed poker machines into society.
But for the youth that he works with, he says that online gambling is perhaps more of a concern, and he thinks it's not fair to go after just one industry without addressing all industries when it comes to problem gambling. What's your response to that?
Well, he's wrong there. And look, I have introduced legislation to deal with online gambling. There will be a report of the Joint Committee on Gambling Reform. Will be handing down its report tomorrow in relation to a very detailed inquiry that we had with respect to online gambling issues. So that'll come out tomorrow, and I'll have a lot more to say about that then. But the issue is this. The biggest cause of problem gambling in this country is poker machines. 2/3 of Australia's gambling losses come from poker machines, about $12 billion a year. But something like 85%, up to 85% of problem gamblers in this country are derived from poker machine addiction. We know from the Productivity Commission almost 100,000 Australians losing an average of $21,000 a year each. Another 280,000, about 250,000 Australians who have already showing the signs of developing a full-blown addiction. Each of those people affects the lives of 7 others. How can Chris Riley just marginalise this? Of course we need to tackle online gambling, but right now the big problem that's right in our faces, that's affecting people day in, day out on a massive scale, is poker machine addiction. And why would Chris Riley, Father Riley, with the terrific work that he does, side with an industry that is causing so much harm?
Well, why would he? What's your suggestion? I mean, you said in your news release today that, and said again just now, that he had sold out. Are you suggesting that he's putting money for his charity ahead of the people that he helps in his charity?
No, I'm suggesting that he's sold out in terms of principles. Let's look at this. It's not just the issue of mandatory pre-commitment, but also the issue of $1 bets that Father Riley is now against. And I find that extraordinary. The Productivity Commission made it clear 88% of recreational gamblers don't spend more than $1 per spin on poker machines. It would have a negligible effect to go to $1 bets, to reduce the average losses on machines from $1,200 an hour to $120 an hour. Still a lot of money, but it would make a huge difference in terms of stopping people becoming problem gamblers in the first place, and actually assisting people not to develop a full-blown problem as well. For Father Riley to talk about counselling as a solution, well, please, Father Riley, look at the Productivity Commission report, which says that a very small minority of problem gamblers actually get help. It's much better, from my point of view, to have a fence at the top of the cliff rather than the best-equipped ambulance at its base. Father Riley's talking about having well-equipped ambulances. That's not the way to fix this problem.
Have you had any further discussions with the government about its proposed restrictions since Harry Jenkins added that additional buffer to the government's numbers in the House of Representatives?
Look, I've had a number of discussions with Andrew Wilkie in relation to this, and again, going back to Father Riley, it's simply wrong to say this is Andrew Wilkie's whim or my whim. This is based on the Productivity Commission research. But Andrew Wilkie is satisfied, and if he's satisfied, so am I, that the government is committed to introducing this legislation. My plea to the government is have some flexibility here, do the other part of the productivity recommendation, the key recommendation, to have $1 bets, have low-intensity machines where you don't need any card, any pre-commitment. If you have high-intensity, high-loss machines, have a pre-commitment system.
Senator Nick Xenophon, thanks very much for your time on this.
Pleasure.